G'day there. Welcome back to the RaeSide. I'm so excited to be back for this live show. It's come at a great time because we have gotten some crazy news in the past 24 hours. Pretty much breaking sort of this time yesterday. An interview dropped. If you haven't seen the headlines, Adam Driver, supposed Ben Solo movie in the works, now cancelled. But apparently it's been kind of a while since this was a thing. So we can kind of talk about it in a interview with AP News. He kind of debriefs all the details about it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We usually would just do random questions and go from there. But this news is absolutely bananas. It is evolved. It is supercharged itself. It's gotten all this momentum across social media. I've made different posts on Twitter and also Instagram, and I've kind of got two different parties kind of opinions, I would say, in kind of both social media platforms, but it's really interesting. It's very fascinating, an overwhelmingly positive positive in terms of people wanted this movie, negative in the sense that what the hell is Disney doing? So it's very interesting. We're going to get into all of that today. We'll go over the article and what Adam says in this interview and actually what he, reveal what he actually said about it. If you haven't actually gone through meticulously and read the conversation, it's very interesting. And the way he sort of describes the movie, how it came about, it's very, very fascinating. Live chat, how we're doing? Ben in the chat. How's it going, RaeSide? A Ben Solo movie would have been awesome. Very sad it's not happening now. Maybe the project gets revived in the future sometime. Hopefully this sort of momentum kind of carries it and pushes Disney to maybe relook at bringing Adam Driver back. Very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. Marek, how you doing? Justice for Adam Driver. Absolutely. In solidarity with him. He's such a A-class actor. Like, obviously he was doing a lot of acting, smaller jobs before Star Wars. He got Star Wars. And then since Rise of Skywalker, he has done a slew of really good movies in the past few years. Obviously, notably Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson. So did he not win an award for that? Something? An Oscar for that? So good. He's done some amazing projects since. So A-list actor wanting to be in Star Wars and it not happening is absolutely bonkers to me. So crazy. Just do what you want. Exactly. How many? And I'm sure we'll kind of break this down. I'll talk about it now anyway. It's very fascinating because there's been this whole notion that Adam Driver hates Star Wars and he doesn't want anything to do with Star Wars anymore. And he does factually, he doesn't do conventions, but everyone takes that as he hates Star Wars. But little did we know, for years this guy was like, please bring me back. And Disney was like, no. So, we all learn. Hey, Ronan, how we doing? Good to see you. Hello, Dennis. Good to have you in here. Lavernius, hello. Do you think a Ben Solo movie would work post Rise of Skywalker? Yeah, so let's talk about this, because obviously the big sticking point was the Disney executives at the end of the day said, hey, he's dead. No. But, CG, to your point, bringing up here, how does he come back just after Rise? Honestly, like, without even trying to think about it, I can think of like 4 different ways this guy can come back. It's not, a bunch of people have come back in Star Wars because their story or their purpose within Star Wars hasn't finished. I look at Maul. Maul's a pretty prime example of this. His sort of hate and lust for power, in a sense, kind of continued to keep him alive, and then continued this really in-depth story of Maul throughout the Clone Wars, etc., etc. So much so to have him in Rebels and to have him in Solo, that worked. There's a bunch of different people. Asajj Ventress is another one I've heard thrown around. Like, she died. She canonically died, and then she went into a pool, and then she's back in Bad Batch now. You know what I mean? It's very easy for Star Wars to just be like, hey, they're in the Force. Ahsoka technically died like twice. She died on Mortis, and then the daughter gave her life, and then she died in sort of the Rebels arc that she was in, Twilight Apprentice. And then She's sort of, Ezra gets her from the War Between Worlds, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of gray area with the who's really dead here. So I don't know. I really see there's a lot of movement for him to not be dead. And especially because his death in Rise wasn't really explained. He just kind of gave her the Force. Maybe he's just in World Between Worlds. Maybe think of Ahsoka in the Ahsoka show. Did she not technically drown? Was she not drowned and dead, and then she went to World Between Worlds, and then she came back and then kept going? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Trent, hello, welcome in. Hey JS, how you doing? What do you think of this news? Yes, well, that's what I want to talk about, because I think there's a lot this movie could explore. But we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, exactly. Mystical story about the Force, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it? It's brutal. Turbo. I've already got all the house shut up and the aircon on. It's crazy. What if the Force wills a Skywalker to be alive at all times to keep the Force in balance? That's kind of cool. Don't mind that. Don't mind that idea. No one's ever really dead. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think it could. I don't know if it definitely would. Kind of as we see it in Ahsoka, but I think that would be a super plausible way. I would love that. Okay, say we're already going here. Say this movie was made. I think the opening scene would be essentially a scene that was straight after Rise of Skywalker. And he's just given Rey his Force life, and he shows up in War Between Worlds. And this is the first scene. And it's just how we see it in Ahsoka live action in season 1. And he's there. And maybe he talks to Anakin. Maybe he talks to Anakin, and Anakin's hey, buddy, thanks for giving her your life force, but you're not done your purpose yet. You're not finished your story yet. We're going to send you back out there. I don't know. Some weird shit like that. I think that would have been cool. Interesting. Starting the soupies today, CG. Thank you so much, my buddy. My good buddy. Adam Driver, great actor. And Kylo was a decent character, but I'm sick of yet another sequel movie. They already messed up Palpatine, leave Kylo alone. But this is where I just completely differ. I think there's so many criticisms to be had. I think Rise of Skywalker, as long and detailed of a movie it was, it really didn't finish everything quite final for me. It felt very rushed. So yeah, I don't know. I take that first part of the sentiment and go, I think that's why they should make a movie about this guy. But yeah, but to be sick of another sequel movie. To be fair, they haven't touched really anything sequels for 6 years. So I don't know. It would have been interesting. Leave Kylo alone. I love that. Leave him alone. I don't know. I just feel like Adam Driver is too good of an actor to leave out of Star Wars from now on. I don't know. He's too good. But thank you for the $5 Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. Some stuff like that. Yeah, the fact that he was on Exegol, what in the mortis is Exegol anyway? We've got zero explanation of that, except in some books. 5767 lol. We never got a Ben Solo Force Ghost, right? No, we didn't. He just kind of goes away. So I'm what if he just goes away into War Between Worlds? Also, let me know how my Wi-Fi is holding up. I can see it's dipping a little bit, so let me know if there's any issues with the stream. JS, what do you think about this? I personally think it would have been interesting to see, but I think it would have made more sense if it was before episode 9. I would have been very down with this idea. You know what they could have even done? Because Adam Driver, he pretty much looks exactly the same as he did in the sequels. What could have been even better, and CG, you might like this idea further, in the sense that, how is he alive? And for those people on the bandwagon of, oh, he's dead, he can't be brought back. What if it was a prelude to the sequels of a Ben Solo movie of after he's turned against Luke and he's now Kylo Ren. A Kylo Ren origins is essentially. To kind of jump off the back of what JS is saying here of okay, if it was before episode 9, because if he really does die in episode 9, maybe it's even before episode 7. And it's about how he becomes Kylo Ren, Ben Solo to Kylo Ren. # save Ben Solo, yeah. I just think I mean, I'll pull up the article in just a moment. It's such a fascinating interview of like how, yes. Oh my God, it said the same thing at the same time. I love it. Yes. That's not a bad idea. That's almost better than probably an after. The Hunt for Ben Solo is an interesting title. Is he actually alive? Who's hunting him? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, maybe the Knights of Ren. The Knights of Ren was an element of the sequels that I'm so upset that they never fleshed out, that they never expanded upon, that they never explained. That is always so baffling to me. The Knights of Ren. I mean, that would be an interesting movie where they are hunting him now. That'd be cool. So cool. Obviously, Ben would be the main character. Who else would be in it? That's a great question. Like I think, like I just said, the Knights of Ren, I think would be a really easy villain, not some other Palpatine again. I think obviously you could have Rey in it. Maybe not as a main character, but just for a short period of time. Something in there. But some great comments coming in. Keep them flowing. I'm gonna pull up the article so we can actually take a look at what he says here as well, in writing. Let's get the little chill music on. Yeah, it's nice. Hey, Cole from Scotland. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Right, Phidias. Wish it happened. Alrighty. Let's look at the article that actually covers everything. AP News. Never heard of them, but you know what? Cool bloody story. Okay. Is this big enough for everyone? Let me go on this side. Here we go. Star Wars Nimbus. So, Adam Driver says, so this is quoting him, I was always interested in doing another Star Wars. Who starred as Kylo Ren, blah, 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 blah. I had been talking about doing another one since 2021. Kathleen Kennedy had reached out, which is interesting, said, with a great director and a great story, I'd be there in a second. I loved the character and I loved playing him. So I loved how, also in this interview, he sort of debunks this whole thing that he hates Star Wars and doesn't want to come back. He literally just debunks that in like 2 sentences. Driver says he took a concept of to Soderbergh for a film, which is crazy that, again, Adam himself. So it wasn't like they were begging him and he said no. It's Driver says he took this concept that he liked to Soderbergh for a film that would take place after The Rise of Skywalker. That movie culminated in Ren's redemption and the apparent death. Driver had undertaken the trilogy with an arc in mind for Ren that inverted the journey of Darth Vader, which I absolutely love, because when I first heard this, I already started milling around like, okay, what sort of character story could you do with a Ben Solo that has been Kylo Ren, now is back on the light side? I love the way he says it, an inverted journey of Darth Vader, because that's one thing about, it's also the perfect thing about the Skywalker story of Anakin's, rise and fall. We see the end of that, and that is such a key triumphant moment in Star Wars of Vader turning to the light, seeing Luke's face for the first and last time, well, with his own eyes, I should say, and then that's the end of Darth Vader, and that's the end of Anakin. And I think the idea of seeing a villain go good and following that and following what he does with his, force purpose now, very fascinating. Also, I'm looking at the article, so if you see, putting in comments right now, I'll get to them in a second. As the trilogy evolved and play out that way, Driver felt there was unfinished business for Kylo Ren, or he was known before as turning to the dark side, Ben Solo. So, Soderbergh, who's the director, and Rebecca Blunt outlined a story that the group pitched to Kennedy Lucasfilm Vice President Carrie Beck. So this also in this article, this also just primes my mind, the fact that either Carrie Beck or Dave Filoni or both of them together are going to be the next president or presidents of Lucasfilm. Because they pitched it to Kennedy, Carrie Beck, and Dave Filoni. They were interested. So the filmmakers then pulled in Scott Z. Burns. Now, I forget who this guy is. What did he do? That's another other article. Let's Google him, or someone Google him while I keep writing this. Scott Z. Burns. What has he written? Has he written good stuff? To write a script. Driver calls the result one of the coolest. I think he says fucking here. I think this is one of the coolest fucking scripts I've ever been a part of. Crazy. Again, Adam Driver, stellar career. After Star Wars, he has incredible run of great Oscar-nominated, award-winning performances. This is an A-list actor, big actor, saying this is a great script. Cool. Cool. I like that. We presented the script to Lucasfilm. They loved the idea. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it, Driver says. And we took it to Bob Iger. This is where we go wrong. We took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and they said no. They didn't see how Ben Solo was alive, and that was that. To this point, and I'm not saying just everyone should be revived, but like, you know, like let's take Asajj Ventress, for instance. She was dead. Did they have to ring up Bob Iger and be like, hey, we want to bring back Asajj Ventress, but she's kind of dead. Is that going to be okay with you guys? And they're like, sure. I know it's different because it's animation. It's a TV show. It's a lot smaller stakes. And a whole movie of a dead character is tricky. But Boba Fett, he died in the Sarlacc pit. How was he back? You know? So many different things. They like with like for when was bloody Return? 83? For almost 40 years, Boba Fett was dead in the Sarlacc pit. He died there. He's gone. And then we go within a few lines of a scene, within 2-3 shots of a scene, he, burns his way through the Sarlacc, he kills the Sarlacc, and he climbs out. Boom, he's back. Boba's back. Now we got all these Boba stories. You know what I mean? It's so easy. We've done this before. Are you kidding? It was called The Hunt for Ben Solo. I have so much to say. It was really cool. But it's no more, and I can finally talk about it. So there must have been some sort of NDA around this, obviously. Soderbergh, so the director, sort of attached with Adam about this. I really enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm just sorry fans won't get to see it. So that's kind of the bulk of this article. Let's come back to the live chat. What do you guys think about this? Absolutely crazy. Ben Solo to me, what are you doing, Bix? Ben Solo to me was a completely lame and terrible character, and I didn't want to see this movie. Wow. Harsh words from Alexander, but fair enough. I know, what a complete way. And they were kind of cool. Like, if you just explained who the Knights of Ren were, they were so cool. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I've never heard of them. Disney could have added content for the film for Galaxy's Edge 2, but no. Yeah, that's true. I go, why? Yeah, exactly. Big Y. Big Y. Out of touch when it comes to the franchise acquired by Disney. It is crazy, and I forget who said this, but they're very reactionary. That's a great way to explain Disney and their decision-making is reactionary. If something does well, they times it by tenfold. If something does bad, they delete everything around it and like it. It is a crazy methodology of going about the film on TV. Crazy. Crunkburger, welcome in. How you doing? The Hunt for Ben Solo, a Star Wars story. Haywire, but with Ben Solo. Sign me up. Daryl coming in saying, kind of furious about this, but I'm glad that people are finally starting to blame Bob Iger instead of Kathleen Kennedy. I am on that boat with you. Absolutely agreed. A lot of the blame, I think, is because there's so much to extrapolate out of this article. The fact, like, it means there's such a different process, different decision-making, different understanding between people who work for Lucasfilm and people who work for Disney. I think we sort of forget the Lucasfilm employees are the ones that actually are pitching, working on, and understanding Star Wars actively still. But they're, hitting a brick wall when it comes to getting the funding from Disney and the okays from Disney. So it's crazy. Bailey saying, I always felt like Kylo could have had his own trilogy. I mean, it could have been the sequel trilogy if in a simple way. There was almost a little bit too much happening in the sequels. Like, in that sentiment, Bailey, like, I would have been fascinated to see the sequels sort of go as they are, but with far less characters, far less main story points, and don't have a First Order, don't have a Resistance, but have a Ben Solo, and we like the first movie is like Ben Solo and Luke, and then Ben Solo turns dark. Then this 8th movie is just like him wreaking havoc, and then the 9th movie is his redemption. Something like that. That would have been interesting. There was almost a little bit too much happening in the sequels coming back to the bloody, what am I saying? Knights of Ren. You know what I mean? Like, such a cool thing to introduce, but there was like no time to explore them. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I heard that, yeah, I saw Josh tweet that. I don't know. I don't have the source to verify that. But I did see Josh's post about that. It was funny. Yeah, there's a PR making it seem like anyone except her at fault. I disagree. I think she takes the blame and fault of everything. I don't think she's ever passed blame, ever. I think she's gotten 100% the blame for the past 10 years. So I like 110% disagree with that. Turbo, a bigger question is, what happens when Rey, when half of the dyad survives and the other half Ben dies? Is there an imbalance in the Force again? That's a good question. Because I guess there's always an imbalance. There's always a there's always a need for balance, I think. So yeah, you know what? And I feel like the story of the Force and Star Wars is just that it's always going in and out of balance, and it's always trying to be aligned. So yeah, I think, and in that answer, I think there's a story there of like, whatever Rey's movie is going to be, like what sort of evil she will face is going to be fascinating, because I think it's going to be like what you're touching on here, Turbo, of she's, is there balance now? She's one half of a dyad. Exactly what you're saying. It's interesting. It was Bob all along, yeah. It sounds like Iger and Bergman took the movie approval from Lucasfilm, which tells me they don't have a lot of faith in Lucasfilm. I don't think they have a lot of faith. I think they just have a lot of power. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they are the final says. Like, they want to say, this is where you put the money. That's why, they've turned the biggest TV, hit of theirs, The Mandalorian, into a movie, because they said, just give us a movie. They didn't go story group. What do we think is the most compelling character and story we can share? They went, what's making the most money? Can we put it into a theater? That's what they did. So I don't think it's that they don't have faith in Lucasfilm. I just think they have their own idea of success, which I don't think aligns with Star Wars storytelling. I love the sequels personally, but every issue people have with them go back to Iger, not JJ, not giving JJ enough time to work on Force Awakens, and Rise of Skywalker forcing Solo to release. Interesting. Kiki takes the blame for everything people don't like, but she's getting none of the credit for the things they like, even though she's responsible for those too. Yeah, it's a whole other discussion, the KK thing. It's crazy. KK told Andor to keep it dark. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That do be true. The thing is, Pixar doesn't need Iger or Bergman for approval for movies. That's fascinating. I'm sure they do. It's not like they don't know, though. You know what I mean? Crazy. Phineas, yes, exactly. So many of the great 80s films because of her as well. I know, it's a whole thing. I could do like a whole stream on Kathleen Kennedy, but I don't know if I have the energy. Daryl didn't have enough space to finish, but Iger made Solo. Oh, right. Back to what kind of happened with the movie. Solo released in May when Lucasfilm wanted December. Yeah, that's true. I do wonder, in an alternate reality, I think about this a lot. Let me get this off the screen. Alternate reality, where the Solo movie did very well, or even just, it still did well as a movie, like a standalone movie. It just wasn't like $1 billion thing that they wanted it to be. The Solo movie happens, and they make 2 other movies a part of this sort of anthology trilogy, I'll say. They make Solo, they make Leia, and they make a movie called Luke. And they make these 3 standalone character study movies of Han, Luke, and Leia. Leia, it would be, I'm just pitching this now. The movie Leia would be Princess Leia just before A New Hope. So maybe get Billy Lord in to play young Princess Leia, or just younger than we see here in A New Hope. And you have, because at this time we still have Bale and Bria, the actors for those characters around. So you have young, Billy Lord, young Leia, as a young senator doing all these things with the aggressive negotiations, going to all these planets, doing all this humanitarian stuff, leaving almost like Rogue One, where it builds up to A New Hope being like, this is what she's doing just before that scene. That would have been really cool as a Leia movie. I mean, I'm a massive Leia fan though, so I'm not really thinking about what's going to do well. Just in my mind, I would love to see a more Leia story, so that's just kind of like a interest of mine. And then for a Luke movie, that's more of a tricky question. I think I got to think about that more. Of a Luke movie, who is the guy? It's not Sebastian Stan, but the guy that was the stand-in for Mark Hamill in season 2 of Mando, and they did the deep fake on him, but he sort of actually really looks like Luke. Have that guy play Luke, and it's him building the Jedi temples, whatever. So you have these 3 movies of Solo, Leia, and Luke, and then you continue these sort of character analyses movies series, where then next we have the hunt for Ben Solo, and then this is kind of connected in. Ben Solo's gone away from the bloody, light side. He's Kylo now. I don't know. It's crazy. Did it lose money? I don't think it lost money. I thought it didn't lose money. Just that was always different with the ships and creatures, but had the original characters. Yes. Am I missing this? Oh, it was the start of this. Okay, yeah. A delayed movie is eventually good. A rush movie is always bad. And knowing that Rise of Skywalker will be canon forever, would have happily waited another year if they did it right. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it is fascinating. I think Rise is the longest Star Wars movie. I'm pretty sure it is. Like, it's the longest one, and it sort of makes the least sense. Like, there's not at all much explanation for anything that happens. Another thing that, now that I'm on Rise of Skywalker, another thing about Rise of Skywalker is that it continued to introduce new characters. It's like we already have a cast of like 6 leads and at least another 10 sort of supporting B characters. Why continue to introduce more characters into a movie that's trying to wrap up a whole saga of 9 movies? You know what I mean? That always irked me. It's like, just focus on the main characters. It's actually, that is the one criticism I have of Ahsoka still as well. That, I have very little to criticize about the Ahsoka show. The one thing is that there's one too many, not even heroes, there's one too many main characters in the Ahsoka show for me. They're all very cool though. I don't know who I would get rid of, because you have Ahsoka, Sabine, Baylan Shin, Hera, Chopper within that, Hera, Ezra, Thrawn. So you kind of have like a 6-person lead group, and it's just a little too much, especially for a TV show. But that's a totally different thing. Especially for a TV show to really like grab hold of. Anyway, crazy. Yeah, it's true. I love Billy Lord, but I don't think she's the person to play Leia. You think? I to be honest, I haven't seen much of her acting, so I couldn't tell you. I think I always say that because it's like, she did the stand-in deepfake stuff for when Leia was in Rogue One. That's what I kind of think of it. Disney made the right call. Glad we got more focus on the lower deck characters in The Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter. This is the way. 600 mil price tag for Rise. That's right, it's super expensive, hey. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I gotta look up the runtime. Runtime of 2 hours and 30 minutes. My God, it is a long movie. It's longer by. It's longer by like 8 minutes. Interesting. Is she? Yeah, I haven't actually seen her acting in other things. I know there's so many characters. There's so many characters to follow through that. It's awesome. Oh man, don't even talk about it. I love it. I love that whole. That got me. I remember watching that for the first time in theaters. The opening scene of Rise of Skywalker, being like, oh my god, this is like the last Star Wars movie, and watching it be like a young Luke and young Leia, and just freaking out. I remember that being such a cool concept to see visually. Really, really fun. Daryl got a two-parter for me. You are right about Disney being reactionary about what's trending. People hate the sequel, so let's move on and pretend they don't exist. What did Lucas do? Exactly. After the prequel hate, he continued to focus purely on the prequel era for the next 10 years and help flesh them out. The Ben Solo film, I think, would have made the sequels better. Yeah, I definitely think that is the case, Daryl, because I'm a strong believer in the sense of this fleshing out. I totally agree. That's what George did. He committed to it. Not without, reason and not at willy-nilly. And I think Disney sort of had to do the same thing with the sequels in the sense that they couldn't follow exactly what they had been doing, but they look at what worked from the sequels. I think a Kylo Ren was an interesting character that even people that hate the movies go, he was a cool character. I think there's and also like a Poe Dameron. I don't know if you would make a whole thing about him, but I kind of previously said I wouldn't have minded a Poe Dameron show. So you look at the good things about that era and go, how do we run with this? How do we explain this more? How do we show people there's more to this story? It's easy. Easy. Hey, Amiga, how you doing? Long time no see. Glad to have you in the live chat today. What do you think about this Kylo movie news? Any sequels book anyone recommend? What's the one I read? There's like a young adults book called, what's it called? There's a young adults book called Smuggler's Run, which is it's super small. It's like super easy read. So I'm looking at all my books. Moving Target is another like young adults short story kind of thing about it's about Leia in between Force Awakens and Lost Jedi. It's quite good. And the other one is Bloodline. Bloodline, very good. A lot of Hosnian Prime in that book. Bloodline is probably the best Star Wars book I've ever read. I know it is. Star Wars Bloodline is the greatest Star Wars book I've ever read. I will go as far to say that. And then it's set in the sequels. It's set like, I can't remember now. I think it's like 20. I think it's 20 years after Return of the Jedi. So it's like 10 years before The Force Awakens. I think it's 20. Yeah, 20 and 10. Because Force Awakens is 30 years. Yeah, I think it is. But Star Wars Bloodline. Not exactly in the sequel movies era, but it's sequel. It's like the forming of the First Order, the Resistance, like that whole thing. It's cool. It's really, really cool. Max Rebo. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that. Chat is popping off today. Welcome in. If this is your first or 1000th stream, well, that was hard to say. 1000th stream here. Hope you're having a good time. Good to see you here. The other thing, yeah, exactly. It's like, I feel like Kylo was this kind of ubiquitous, whatever you thought of the movies, you kind of liked that character. So it would have been great. I don't know. Rossi flying in with the $5 redos. On Josh's stream today, watch at 40 minutes in. It will blow your mind. It's adjacent to the Adam Driver story. I guess shut down good shows and movies. I'm almost not wanting to find out, Rossi, because I am scared of how heartbroken I will be. I got to admit, I'm worried about how many good ideas. Like, if they said no to this, what other great movies or show pitches have they said, no, we don't care? I am so afraid of that fact, Rossi. So, thank you for the $5 redos. But I don't know. I'm scared. Oh, so good. So good. Thank you so much for the soupy doopy. Thank you for the juicy. I think Disney made a mistake of thinking that social media trends relate to in real life. I feel like they are starting to figure that out. Yes, because as someone who works in like full time in Star Wars social media content, it is so different. The fans that talk about Star Wars, we want to talk about Star Wars. We want to be here on social media. We want to talk about it with other people on social media. That's very valid and fair, what we're doing here. But to when I'm in real life, if I meet someone, at a party or a, soccer or something, and they go, what do you do? I do Star Wars content. Oh, I like the, this movie. I like that character. Like, I always hear takes that if this was if what they said was a tweet, they would have gotten a massive amount of hate. You know what I mean? So it's very fascinating. The more in real life Star Wars experiences I have, it's just so different from online. Some people do, because people do genuinely have very similar opinions, but it's not as bad as we all think. I don't know. It's very fascinating. Star Wars fandom needs to be studied one day, I swear. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree. Yes. Bloodline, very good. It's very political though. Like if you're into I think I once said if you're into the political episodes of the Clone Wars, where Padme does, random heist stuff on Mandalore, that kind of political stuff, you're gonna like Bloodline. You kind of got to be into that to enjoy it. Yeah, it's a great trailer, isn't it? I saw that. That was the anniversary of that trailer the other day, wasn't it? Yeah. That's the Leia and Rey one. That is the first new Star Wars book in a while that I'm very excited about. I'm halfway through the Bad Batch Sanctuary one. I was very excited for that one and enjoying that. And then this is the next book I'm absolutely going to cop. It's cool. Hey, sci-fi dude, how you doing? Yeah, there was weird tension. Well, welcome to your very first stream, Lightning. Oh, so good to have you here, my buddy. Yeah, what's that called again? What's that book called? Wasn't that out today or this week or something? Crazy. They haven't rejected the KOTOR live action. I still have hope. KOTOR fans are the most wild. But you know what? Fair to you that you love KOTOR so much. Absolutely. Fair enough. The most annoying part about this story is Bob Iger saying he didn't understand how Ben was alive. I don't know, maybe read the script. That's a good point. That is a fantastic point. Like, did they not explain it? Did they not just go, hey, this is how he's not? So, yeah, it feels like a very flimsy response. But, again, with all these sorts of things, these are all press releases. These are all, very heavily contextualized that we don't know the context of. So, not to take Iger off the hook, but, yeah, it's annoying. It is annoying. All right, coming in, Rusty, with another $2 news. It devastated me, lol. It blew my mind and felt numb. Oh, see, Rusty, this is why I can't look at it. I think I'm going to be really devastated as you are too. That's scary. Very scary. Oh, crazy. That is very true. Neither have I. Facts. Oh, yeah, Visions. That's right. That's next week, hey. Maybe Kylo could have gone to the War Between Worlds and met Anakin Skywalker. That's exactly, yeah, Gunstar Fury. I pitched this at the start of the stream saying, I haven't really thought about it in depth, but one potential for the story is go straight from the scene that we see in Rise of Skywalker. He, vanishes into the Force and he appears back in War Between Worlds and he talks to Anakin and Anakin's like, my grandchild, go back out there. And then they go. You know what I mean? Ah, that's crazy. I'm rewatching the Force Awakens trailer again now. That shot of the Knights Ren with the lightning in the dark, still badass. You know what? I know it was the anniversary of it the other day, but I never rewatched it. So let's do that right now because that's a cool trailer. Awakens. I want the full trailer, not the teaser trailer. I always accidentally do that. Official teaser, official trailer. I know I'm gonna get goosebumps looking at this. Okay. Let's get it up here. I'll just wait for the ad. Don't mind me. Okay. I haven't watched this trailer in a long time. I feel like we did this on a stream maybe a year or two ago or something for some reason. Cannot remember why. But let's take a look. I'm probably going to get copyrighted, but oh well.
Who are you?
Maz Kanata, underrated
I'm no
character, underutilized.
I was raised to do one thing, but I've got nothing to fight for.
I think it's because I watch a lot of sports.
Nothing will stand in our
like
way.
a UFC. I watch a lot of sports.
I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
He will.
It's true. All of it.
Yeah, there was that shot.
The dark side. A Jedi. They're real.
Oh, that shot of Luke.
The Force. It's calling to you. Just let it in.
Ooh, I do have goosebumps watching that too. But yeah, let's just go back to this one still somewhere of the Knights of Ren. Someone mentioned this in the chat just before. Like, come on. You're kidding. That's so cool. Oh, really, really, really. What are we going to do? The hunt for Ben Solo equals me hunting for the film. $2 dues. You know what? Fair. Get that tattooed. 100%. 100%. This trailer hit back in the day. There was so much excitement. Kind of giving me chills. Wow, Marek. That is strong. That is strong. Yeah, they did look cool. They did look cool, didn't they? Very, very cool. The trailer actually makes me incredibly angry, remorseful that we could have sequels been. Well, I thought you were wanting this movie though. The Hunt for Ben Solo, crazy. There was hope for Disney after the Force Awakens, but then interesting. Yeah. You know what? That was the one. Well, actually, visually, this trailer was absolutely like sensational. But I the one thing I loved most about this trailer is that, and I think, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there's you don't see or hear Leia whatsoever, apart from I think her theme comes in a little bit halfway through. But it's you know, you kind of just hear it very lightly in the background. I've turned the sound off, but you don't see her at all. I like that because that I do remember seeing Leia in the movie. And again, I loved that I went through the entire sequel era without being on Star Wars internet, Reddit, online whatsoever. I had no idea there was other fans out there online. So I had a great time watching these as a 15-year-old because I was just like, these are the movies. You know what I mean? But so I really loved seeing Leia because I don't think she's in this at all. The Vader helmet was also a crazy reveal. Everyone's like, oh my God, crazy. Yeah. It is a beautiful trailer. Like it's quite cinematic. Well, very, very cinematic to say the least. Let's get that chill music back on. Anyway, just back to this movie of what could have been. Crazy. If you're just coming in, what are your thoughts? Put the banner up on the screen. What are your thoughts of this movie? What could have the story been? You know, we talked about it's happened or not. It's not happening. What could have the story been? Ben Solo? You know what's his redemption? He has been redeemed, but does the galaxy accept him? And accept it? That's another one. Yes, even after the trailer, plenty of surprises in the theater. Yeah, it was cool. They did that. They did do that well. This was honestly solid film, says Phidias. Yeah. Ben Solo pulling Anakin Saber out of nowhere is a scene I very much enjoy. That is cool. That was very cool. Oh my god, Joel! Hello! Come on in. $5 dues. Conspiracy time. I think Adam Driver is trying to rally support for the film because Iger is set to retire next year and pressure new leadership. Now, I've seen this conspiracy a little bit online as well, Joel. And I think they're kind of coining it the Deadpool effect, because that's sort of what Ryan Reynolds did to get him cast and doing the Deadpool movies to sort of, oh, it's not happening. And then everyone goes, no, please make it happen. And then it happens. So, you know what? For the sake of being optimistic for the story to happen, I will go with you on this one, Joel. I'll put down, let's bet $5. Let's bet $5 dues on this. I like it. I like it. I love the conspiracy, and I hope it's true. Oh, so good. Thank you for the donation, Joel. Appreciate you, my friend. It's certainly possible the move was calculated. Yeah. That's the thing with all this press stuff. It's like you got to read into it, and you kind of like have to read into it and then not read into it at the same time. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Hey, SBC, how you doing? I got your DM, by the way. I'll reply sometime shortly after this. Yeah, I love it. So good. Let's make maybe I am into gambling. Who said that before? Maybe I am. I'll take money on this making this happen. Sad that Cameron won't be coming to Supernova anymore. I know. So bad. So bad. Are you in Brisbane? Or Melbourne? Are you in Melbourne? But yeah, super sad they won't be there. At least we have Diana and John coming, so that'll be cool. That would kind of be cool. Oh, I missed the super? Oh, my bad. I did indeed, CG. Thank you for letting me know. $5 dues. Generous support today. My God, you guys are legends. They changed up the ties in the sequels. The old ones were single-seater. The new ones had a pilot and a gunner. Yet, seemed similar in size. I didn't quite notice that. Is there a shot of that? Well, there is this random shot of them in the trailer. Let's have a little look-see, shall we, CG? I didn't ever notice this. I feel like it's here. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. I probably can't pause it at the right frame, to be honest, to really notice. That's probably the best still I can get. Yeah. I mean, like overall it looks fairly the same. The body does look a little thicker in a sense. Like the OT TIE fighters were very spherical and just like simply spherical in the center. It looks a little thicker, but you might be right. They don't look like it really isn't too much difference. Gee, it's really hard. Oh, here's another good steal. It is very similar. Oh, there was another good close-up one. Yeah. Perhaps. Perhaps indeed. Good pickup. Good question. Love it. Love it. Scholar Hubberson. Oh yeah. What is the movie going to be about? Or would have been about? It sounds like someone else looking for him, unless it's Kylo on a spiritual journey to find his true self. I think it'll be both those things. I think he'll be like, how can I be a good guy now? And then I like the idea that the Knights of Ren would be after him, but did they all die? Did he kill them all? I don't even remember. Yeah, pretty much. I do think the article kind of gives some insight into how much KK does and does not have a final say on things. An important reminder for fans to understand how things work. You're in Mobs and was going to go to Brisbane, but won't anymore. Oh, bummer. Yeah. Cameron pulling out. It was a big, sad announcement. But I'm kind of hoping it's for a Star Wars reason. That's my in my fantasy world in my head. That's why he's not there. Oh, so good, SBC. I'm so devastated this Ben Solo movie didn't happen. Kylo's my third favorite Star Wars character and easily the best character in the sequels. Yeah, I mean, he's very good at the sequels. He's very good. But yeah, I didn't. It's interesting to see, speaking of that big Empire magazine. Was it Empire? Empire magazine doing the top 50 Star Wars characters, where every your personal top 50 or top 20 or whatever. Does Kylo Ren rank in that? Where does he sit? Hey, so you messaged before. I skipped over that. I apologize. If Ben did not have the final interaction with Han, I believe he could have had an interesting redemption film. But the moment the writers ended Han the way they did, that ended any interest in Ben and Kylo, in my opinion. Really? Interesting. The typo and Finstall has a swivel laser cannon at the bottom of the cockpit. Wow, you guys pick up so much. Hey, Dimitri. Yeah, it's a good trailer. It's a really, really great trailer. Lavernius, theory time. What if Rey's movie takes aspect from The Hunt from Ben Solo? It could do. I don't love when they do that because they, have sort of taken that before. Look at the Kenobi show. They kind of reworked this Kenobi movie idea. I don't love that. But yeah, from movie to movie, in terms of story points, it could work. Personally, don't think it will, but it would be a nice thought, though. Like, it would be interesting that, the Hunt for Ben Solo as a movie got scrapped, but Adam Driver being in Star Wars isn't scrapped, and he might be in something in the future. That would be fun. I thought that'd be good. There you go. Interesting. $5 dues when Poe. Oh yeah, of course. When Poe and Finn were going to skip the tie, I thought for a moment they'd sit in each other's lap, just squeeze in together. I love that. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh my god, I love it. Thank you for $5 dues for that. That's funny, as. You know what? That would have made a great scene. I would have actually loved to see that. That's funny. Oh, bro, I'm trying. There's so many chats today. You guys are popping off. What did you say? This one? Where they could have made it where Rey accidentally put some of her life force. Well, when she put her life force and tried to heal Ben, he comes back to life afterwards. Or the Sith Exegol revive him and make him dark side with method. But what's the point of making him dark side again if we just had this like whole 3 movies of like he's dark, he's good now. You know what I mean? But there is something to say. There is something to say with the fact that Rey puts no. Wait, yeah, hang on. What happens in this? I forget this scene again. Let's get this scene up. I actually forget how it happens. Minute 50. Okay. Oh my god, you wouldn't believe me, but I just got an ad for Vegemite. Okay, I kind of got to skip some things before they, like, ban me. So, the big explosions just happened. She's sort of dead. This is very Ahsoka on Mortis-esque. He is, like, sad about it, and he's like, oh my god, there's no one around. Did everyone just go? And he's like, oh my word. It's so hot in here. It's dark caves. How is it warm? She's like a goner. He's like, shit, do I, revive her or do I die? He thinks about it real hard. He feels bad about everything. Continues to sweat. And then this happens. Okay, so she is dead. And then he puts his life force in her. He really thinks about it. And he's alive. Do we get the moment that he dies, though? Ah, before the kiss as well. Rip. Anyway. So, okay, yeah. So she... I forget. I actually totally forgot that point that she dies first. And then he gives her his life force. Then they kiss, and then he goes away. There's something in there. There's something in there because I immediately think of Mortis. I think of Ahsoka and Mortis. Ahsoka died. Like, died. And the daughter was... Same thing, was like, you can't die. I gotta keep you alive. And then revives her. Come on. Same thing. I love that. I like how you call him Ben Skywalker. I like that. I apologize if I'm skipping over any chats. I'm trying to get to everyone today. Everyone's got some great, deep thoughts about it. And so many feels like I shut down Disney and all experience. So I do want to... Why this one gets leaked now? It's a good question. Like, is it just... Adam was really just like, I want to talk about it now? Or what is the reason? That is a great point. Kix is alive. He will never die. Never ever die. No, his entire point. A Star Wars plus Anakin did far worse. He did. Probably he killed a lot more. Yeah, I didn't get that. I've come to try the whoa. So many words just try to come out at the same time there. I've come to find that the cure to feeling grumpy is watching a RaeSide stream. Thank you. A true comfort, uplifting show. Appreciate you, legend. Thank you for being here, Lightning. I was thinking about you all morning. Because you're real that you posted was super freaking funny. And also just, yeah, thinking about you. I hope you're doing well over there, honestly. Yeah. You're a legend, man. You're a legend. Thank you for being here. $5 redos coming in from Alexander. In Vanity Fair, they did say that Igar quietly killed the movies that were announced at 23 Celebration. He didn't want to commit to the finance. Yeah, well, that kind of makes sense because since that announcement and them coming on stage, not a single skerrick, crumb, peep has come out of Rey's movie, except for sort of an elusive, oh, it's coming, oh, it's been pushed back, elusive, it's been pushed back. And even more so, not a single skerrick from Mangold's movie, from the new, no, sorry, the, what is it called? The Old Jedi Order or whatever? When he's doing like the Jedi Origins movie, Mangold's movie doing that. Like he's signed on to like a bunch of different studios and different movies now. Not a skerrick of a word out of that movie. So that would check out. Vanity Fair's pretty on the money. So thank you so much for the $5 dues and that info. It was a good point. He doesn't want to finance anything. He's got like $7 bajillion. That doesn't sound like a big enough number, but they have so much money. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I know. Do I? Do I though? Who's to say what the power of a dyad bond could do? So maybe Rey could revive Ben. Yeah, there's something in that. I don't know. All right, I'll catch you soon, Omega. Hey, Piper, how you doing? Yeah, crazy. I'm so behind in the chats. I'm trying to catch up. Just thinking, I was thinking just now for the Hunt for Ben Solo as an origin story instead of a direct to sequel. Yes, this was briefly mentioned a little earlier in the stream as what if, and again, I make the point of Adam Driver looks like pretty much exactly the same as he did 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Like it looks exactly the same. It's fine. They could absolutely do this. Yeah, prequel to him, you know, do it in Luke's little Jedi camp and when he turns and what he does bad, blah, 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 blah. That'd be really cool. I would like that as well, just as much as a continuation of his story post Rise. Absolutely. Dawn of the Jedi, that's it. Dawn of the Jedi. I always thought this, Kay. I always went away from that movie being like, what, like, why did Leia was alive until, Ben needed it, and then he came, like, I was always really stuck on that. And I agree with you. There's something there, and I don't know what it is, but there's something there. Unbelievable. Joel, do you think things change or shift when both Kathleen Kennedy and Iger leave? I heard they were supposed to do more or less retire around the same time. Well, I think my bet is Kathy's gone in January. I reckon she's retiring at the end of this year. I don't think she'll stick around for Mando, honestly. I think she'll retire, and then Iger goes in. Like, reported he was going to retire at the end of 26, so end of next year. I don't know. Or maybe she does that at the same time. Maybe they both retire at the end of next year. But to answer the question, do I think it's going to change or shift things? Absolutely. I don't know how or why, but I think it will. I think some sort of constants will feel the same, but I think what they're going to be trying to present, especially betting on the fact that either Dave alone or Dave and Carrie Beck is going to be in charge. There's going to be a shift. I just don't know what it's going to look like, but I think there will be. Yeah, I don't think they're around for much longer. I reckon end of 2026 the latest for both of them, for sure. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, exactly. Again, A-list actor. Like, he's such a good actor. Award-winning actor. Get him in Star Wars. Again. At least I hope they adapt the script to bring back Admiral Akbar. The hunt for Akbar would make $1 billion for sure. Oh, easy 1.2 bill, I should say. The hunt for Admiral Akbar, 1.2 billion opening weekend. Undoubtedly true. It's true. Long live Admiral Akbar. You know what? Let's get this hashtag trending. Hashtag the hunt for Admiral Akbar. I'm liking this. I think we're onto something. I think we are onto something. Absolutely bananas. But this stream has absolutely flown by with over 40 of you hanging out here tonight. I do have to start wrapping things up real shortly. But we have powered through these theories for this movie. I am still on the side of the fence that this should have happened. This would have been cool. I would have loved to seen this in theaters. Adam is a great actor. I loved him as Kylo. I really would have loved to see more of him. And I hope to someone was saying this earlier, maybe he's in the Rey movie. Maybe he's in just something else in the future, and maybe just this movie isn't happening for him, which would make sense. Disney did Akbar dirty. Akbar got done dirty in the last year. I love how this is a thing now. Yes, $2 news from CG, done dirty. To hold out hope for Akbar, I'm not kidding about this. One of the biggest roaring cheers at Star Wars Celebration this year was in the Ahsoka Season 2 panel. They were prefacing, they were talking about what happened in Season 1. They were going, this is what you can be excited for Season 2. One of the biggest roaring cheers, alongside obviously Hayden coming out and Anakin being confirmed to be in the season again, is Dave Filoni dropping that Admiral Akbar will be in Season 2 of Ahsoka. That got such a fascinating reaction out of fans being like, Admiral Akbar, yeah! Like, that was hilarious. I want to try and find it in the live show because it's fascinating. Everyone just loved that announcement. So hold on to that. Admiral Akbar in Season 2 of Ahsoka. Let's do a stream on that. My God. Exactly. Akbar returns. Get ready for it. Season 2. It's going to be good. Akbar versus Thrawn. That is the real reason that Ahsoka got a Season 2 is because they said, hey, we got to get Akbar in here. We got to get him back in something. Oh, unbelievably good. Anyway, I digress, as I like to do. That is all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for joining in the live conversation and discussion. I feel terrible of having covered it so short, but I have some errands to tend to. I don't know, maybe that's why you okayed it. Where is Big? She's asleep under the desk right now. She's here, but she's asleep. I would get her though. I know. I feel like the whole live show is just one big digression. I feel like every 3 sentences I should just be saying, I digress. I really should be saying that a lot. Let's hope for the best with Adam Driver's situation. Have a great night. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you there. Right back at you. Have a better night. You're not too grumpy. And feeling the weight of the world. Take big breaths. You got this. You got this. It's true. Act by going toe to toe with Thrawn, no less. If memory serves me right, yeah, surely that's coming in season 2. Unbelievable. Phidias Adam, I think, is the only new actor that I see being able to move as fast as Hayden with a lightsaber. We need him back. You think so? I mean, Manny Jacinto was pretty good with those double blades. I have to give him credit there. He was pretty good with the saber. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. Make sure you check out all my other stuff that's coming out. I'm starting to do kind of clipping segments from these live shows and posting them as like 5 to 10 minute videos on the channel. So if you're ever not able to catch one of these live shows, check out sort of the segments of what you will if you want to catch up on things. What else do I have going on? Got a cool new collab announcement happening over on Instagram in a couple days. That is going to be very fun. But thank you so much for everyone to supering tonight. Appreciate the donations. Keeps everything running here. And it got an exciting few weeks ahead. I'll be heading to Supernova in Australia. It's a convention. Diana Lee Anastanto will be there. And John Boyega himself. Maybe I'll pitch it. Okay, we'll have a stream about this. But you got to tell me what I should be asking John Boyega. What do I ask him? Do I pitch him, hey, are you going to be in Adam's movie? Should I have asked him that? Maybe. But you'll hear more about that when it comes time. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch you in the next one. I got to make sure I turn off the music. There we go. Outro? Okay, outro set. I'll catch you soon. Make sure you always choose the RaeSide.